ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Paragon, and this week we have the rise of the Iron Maiden. Yes, decided to go ahead and do the new hero in the game, which is this lady right here. This is Terra. As I said, I'm going to call her the Iron Maiden just because of her role. She is a tank character, as you can probably guess from the look of her. However, she's not really a normal tank. She's actually kind of an aggressive frontline tank. That's the best way to think of her. She's very good at building up a lot of armor, temporary armor, and just getting in and laying waste to everything around her with that gigantic axe. You can see that thing's got a heck of a reach. But the other part of her, and the reason I call her the Iron Maiden, is this shield here, which apparently does have a name, going by her background. Apparently it's named Sorsha. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Terra's abilities, because as always, that's part of what helps you determine her kit. So first off, her left click carve. Just a simple swing of the axe. Does pretty good damage actually, especially at level 1. You can hit pretty hard with it, and you can actually make some serious trouble for your target. I've actually managed to bully a Fang Mao out of lane with this, and I'm going to show you the build I used to do it. Next up, I'm going to say this is easily one of her two bread and butter skills. Namely, this is her right click, counter guard. She puts up her shield, and it guards for a second or two. If she takes damage, like it says, if Terra takes damage while she's guarding, damage is deflected and turned into a shield for 3 seconds. That's the shield determined by a percentage of unnegative damage on the blade. So you might take half damage, but you keep the other half as a shield. Counter guard is what I'm going to start off with. It is your #1 skill, really. So we're going to pick it up at level 1. We're going to max it first. Although we are going to pick up points in the other two along the way. This one is, I'll tell you now, counter guard is all about timing, and you'll see that when we get into the match. But next up we have Ruthless Assault. Terra spins, striking all enemies around her before finishing the spin with an additional / totaling 140 damage. So it's not, they don't take 140 damage per hit. They take 70 damage per hit. It doesn't sound like a lot, but this is great for wave clear. This is great when you get mixed into a team fight, and that's kind of what Terra wants to do. She wants to be in the middle of a fight. Because with I'll point that out when we get there. Next up, we have Deafening Command. This is her crowd control. Sends her after your shield, creating a shock that deals ability damage and applies a stun for 1.4 seconds to all enemies in a radius around her. Deafening Command is oddly enough a very good chasing skill. Because if the enemy's trying to get away from you but they're really low, you're like, okay, I'm not sure if I can get them, and Ruthless Assault is still on cooldown, or you don't have enough for it, hit your E and hit Deafening Command. It will actually stun them. It doesn't have to be point blank. There's a little bit of a range to it. I like to pick up Deafening Command second and max it second because of that. We'll pick up Ruthless Assault third and max it last. But like I was saying, Deafening Command and Ruthless Assault are all part of her kit where she wants to be in the middle of the fight. Counter Guard is another part of that, which goes in with her ultimate, Unstoppable Force. Okay, helmet smashes down and grants her a 300 damage shield. It's a 300 health shield and unstoppable. You cannot be crowd controlled for 4 seconds. So Terra just becomes a juggernaut at the end of the day. And in fact, that's what this part of the back of her armor is. That's actually part of her helmet, which you can see right there. Now, like I said, Terra is kind of a great aggro tank in that she's good at getting the enemy to attack her, because you just can't get past her if you're not good enough. But she's also great at being aggressive, because like I said, with her armor abilities from Counter Guard and Unstoppable Force, Terra is great at getting in, mixing it up, and just staying in the middle of a fight. And that's actually what I tried to do with the build. I'm going to start doing something different with Terra here. I'm going to start building decks specifically for individual characters for the series. So let's go take a look at the deck. I'll see you guys over there in just a moment. And we're back, folks. This is what I like to call the Terra aggro deck. And as you can tell, it's got full 12 cards because I decided I wanted some options on what I wanted to do. Let's go over the cards first. So the first card you're going to start with is Coin Master, because bonus gold, especially doubling it when you're out of combat, is very good. Terra should usually be in combat, so you're not going to gain the 16, you're going to probably gain the 8. But it's still good to have, just in case you do end up having a bit of an issue staying in lane. This will help you get more money. And as we all know, money in this game is a very important thing to have. Eventually you'll want to get Exoskeleton as well, because 30 health regen over 3 seconds after taking damage from an enemy hero, very important to have, especially because while her health pool is pretty large, without her armor abilities, Terra has some issues staying in a fight. So having something like Exoskeleton is great. So is having something like Green Spring, because 8.4 health regen while out of combat. Those two together go really well with one of the gems I'll show you guys in just a moment. So you're going to grab, what I usually like to do is I'll grab Coin Master first, get to where I have 4 extra points, go back, grab Green Spring and Exoskeleton at the same time. Next up, we have Blitz Rush, because this is a growth and chaos deck. So it's a green-red deck, effectively. Blitz Rush, 5 power, 10 attack speed, and it gives you a 1,000 unit dash, and if you kill a hero with this, you can do it again. You can't spam it, unfortunately, because the cost is still there, but it's a very good skill to have. If you need to initiate on somebody for your team, this is what you want. You want Blitz Rush if you end up having to be the main initiator. Because otherwise Terra doesn't really have a good initiation skill where she can just get into the middle of the fight in a second. So Blitz Rush is to help with that. Next up, one of the big cards, and one of the ones you want to end with, Growth Totem. We've seen this before. Gain power and max health every minute with no limit. And the Cultivate, by the time you want to get this, you'll have it for free. Because 4,500 gold, that means you have to spend you have to buy 9 points, at which point Growth Totem is free. Go back and get it as soon as you can. You should be able to do this if you're getting decent farm. You should be able to get this right around the 8.5 minute mark. Next up, Apex Predator. Good amount of power and some ability armor from it. Grants a stack of 0.75 power when damaging enemy heroes up to 30 times. When you gain those 30 stacks, you gain an additional 18 ability armor. All stacks are lost when you discard Apex Predator. This is a good card to get mid-game because it means that you've got some extra damage, you've got some extra survivability. You don't really want to keep Apex Predator very long unless your team is doing really well and you're like, okay, I can survive and I can do a little bit more damage, or I need to do a little bit more damage. Other than that, there's some better cards, and we'll talk about those as we go. Next up, Pensive Shaman. This is a weird one for the deck, I think. Max health and mana regen, and you gain health regen equal to 20% of your mana regen. So the Pensive Shaman is all about keeping you in the fight. Granted, you're not going to be seeing me spend a ton of points in intellect with this, because there's some other cards I prefer to have, but Pensive Shaman, if you're going into the late game, you might need to pick it up because you might want to just have something to keep you alive. Also that extra mana regen, because Terra has a problem with her mana pool, I'll be honest. Right, next up, one of the fun cards, Thunder Cleaver. This is a good mid-game card. 17 power, 22 basic armor. Your cleave damage is increased by 50%, which is a good thing for Terra, because she's going to do a lot of it with that gigantic axe. And then Whirlwind, 125 basic attack damage to nearby units. 125%, I'm sorry. This is a good mid-game card to help you get wave clear and help you get more money. If you can have this while still holding on to Coin Master, you can get some pretty quick cash, which can lead you to getting the final cards you want for this. And the final build I'm going to be going for involves the next card, Trapper. 15 power, 32 attack speed. Basic attacks reduce enemy move speed by 5% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. When you max the stacks, they get rooted for 1.5 seconds. Because melee characters always have the problem of, hey, you ran outside my range, now I can't hit you. Trapper can help with that, of course. I've talked about it before. It's one of the two cards, it's one of the three cards I'd like to end the game with. One of the other ones is Growth Totem. And then the next one the other one we're going to talk about in just a second. Next up we have Unbroken Spirit. 10 power, 360 max health, 30 ability armor. And you regenerate 2.5% of your max health per second for 4 seconds after being hit by hard crowd control, and that can stack. This is just in case you have a lot of really good stunners on the other team, or a lot of good roots. If they have a lot of good hard CC, grab Unbroken Spirit so that you can stay in the fight, and they'll just be like, what the hell? Because think about this. If you get hit with hard crowd control and it does less than 2.5% of your max health, you will regenerate more HP than you lost with this. That is why you have Unbroken Spirit in the deck. Next up, this is the other one I want to end the game with. Unstable Cyborg. Well, it's one of the two options, because Trapper and Growth Totem are two big ones. But Unstable Cyborg, 14 power, 36 basic armor, and there's a 1 in 5 chance to deal 65 ability damage to nearby enemies when you take a hit. And since you're the tank and you want to be in the middle of the fight, you're going to be taking hits. So you can grab Unstable Cyborg and be good. And then finally, the other one I'd like, between either this one or Unstable Cyborg, one of the tribe. 22 power, 420 max health, gain 15 power for each nearby ally hero. This is an end game thing, because if you're defending, your ally should be nearby. If you're attacking the enemy core, your ally should be nearby. So you can gain up to 60 power, maybe 75, because I don't know if this counts you. I haven't tested that one. But one of the tribe is just for when you near the very end of the game and you want to do some damage. Alright, that was a decent rundown of the cards in the deck and why I've got them in here. Let's take a quick look at the gems. First off, we have Auto Health Potion, pretty standard. You need health. Next up, Healing Towers. We've seen this one before. Health regen and mana regen while near structures. This is especially good because you want to be especially at the start of the game, you want to be a little defensive, hold the line, or even when you're being aggressive. Because remember, this is while near structures, not near allied structures. So Healing Towers will heal you when you're pushing towers. Next up, damage reduction. Simply put, reduce basic damage taken by 6.1%. This is great because a lot of the people you'll be facing are other tanks, and they depend on their attacks, their basic attacks, to hurt you. So do the enemy carry. So having this, you'll be taking less damage, you'll survive longer. That's what this deck is all about. Next up, damage return. I had a couple of these. I picked the one with 2.2 health regen, and you return 10% of the basic damage taken. Combine this with damage reduction, you'll survive a hell of a lot longer than people think you should, and they'll take extra damage. They might even die from it, who knows. Next up, Armor Aura. I kind of waffled on this one a little bit, but I decided to go for the max mana and health regen one. Nearby enemy heroes lose 12 basic armor. Nearby ally heroes have theirs increased by 12. So it's just swapping 12 basic armor off the enemy onto your team. This is great with something like one of the tribe, because that way you're helping your team while also doing some serious damage. And then finally, Auto Mana Potion. Again, pretty standard. Just want some mana regen for when you're below 40%. Alright folks, that is the deck. This is the Terra aggro deck, like I said. But I'll see you guys in just a minute when we get into a game. Don't go anywhere. Alright folks, we are in, so we're going to go ahead and pick up the Terra aggro deck. Right there. Pop a point into Vitality and grab the Coin Nester. Now as the tank, we want the right lane. And like I said, our first point, going to be put in Counter Guard, our right click. Yes, I know Shinbi. I'm going. Okay, so right lane, I'm either going to be facing off against the Steel or the Grux. Probably going to be the Steel, considering he's got Exoskeleton. You can scout a little bit. Although that might just be because I'm playing against AI. Yep, there's the steal. Remember again the trick that if you see their health bar red, you can actually hurt them, or you can actually kill the minion. You saw me activating counter guard for a second there. Now, unfortunately, at the early stages, Terra's health pool is not great for aggro play, but alright, let's go and pick up Deafening Command. Also, I'm going to put my first point here into agility so I can get my auto health potion. Just as there was the use I was talking about where you can kind of use Deafening Command to chase, although I was just outside of range, so. Alright, level 3. We're gonna go ahead and pick up Ruthless Assault. Alright, here we have enough money for our third point. That's gonna go straight into Intellect to get us the auto mana potion. Then we're going to go ahead and charge in, because this way we can get the health regen going. Also, yes, if you time it right, your counter guard can actually block a hit from a tower. What I'm going to do right here, I'm going to retreat a little bit and go after this thing. So now I've got even more health regen. Alright, level 4. Pick up our second point into counter guard. Also, one thing to note, counter guard doesn't, like I said, it can protect you against hero attacks. There you see it going to its full duration, but it can protect you against hero attacks and turrets. It will not protect you against minions. Alright, I'm going to start putting all of my points into vitality for the moment until I can get to what I need. You see me activating Ruthless Assault. Stun Steal. If I'd had the mana, I could have easily killed. I could have probably gotten that kill. Unfortunately, I did not. I did not watch my mana potion or my mana pool. Right here at level 5, we're going to go ahead and pick up our ultimate. Unstoppable Force is now online. Since I've got 2 people in my lane, I want the health orb. Unfortunately, there's not going to be much I can do here, because while I'm good at aggro tank, and I have my ultimate to soak up a bit of damage, so I can toggle Unstoppable Force, just to head back to my tower. Again, we're going to aim to max out counter guard first, so we've got 3 points in it now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put our third point, or our fourth point into Vitality. I'm actually going to stay under the tower for the moment, but far enough back that Grux cannot pull me out. Well, unfortunately, I did not plan that well. But that does give me the money I need to get Green Spring and Exoskeleton. That is one thing to watch out about with Terra, is that a lot of her abilities cannot be used immediately after you use Ruthless Assault. You have to make sure the animation finishes entirely. Alright, there we go, we have now maxed out Counter Guard. So all the damage I reflect is turned into a shield. Got another point in Vitality. Alright, time to retreat. So you can see right there, I'm already getting, I've got 32 health regen per second. It does go down by 15 when the health orb goes away, but I was out of that area. That's bullshit. Alright, time to recall. Alright, now I've got enough. I'm actually going to ditch Coin Master for growth totem. I'm now considerably tankier, and I'm going to just keep getting that way. And there we go. We've got Steel running for his life. Use the stun. Also, make sure you use your angles, because I almost had him there. I'm going to put our second point into Unstoppable Force. I'm also going to start putting more points into Agility. Use this opportunity to do some damage to the tower. Alright, here at level 10, third point in Deafening Command. Fourth point in Agility, so I'm doing a bit more damage, a bit faster. Right, this is weird, but I'm going to put a second point. I'm putting another point into Ruthless Assault before I fully max out Deafening Command. And you see at this point I can actually now just start fighting steel straight up. I'm not fighting because I know for a fact what my plan here is just stand in this area, get some health regen, also get a shield. I did not expect Gideon, so unfortunate but true. We're going to start working more also on building up vitality stacks. Or points, not stacks. Okay, this is where things are getting a little strange. I'm gonna ditch Exoskeleton. I said ditch Exoskeleton to pick up Thunder Cleaver. So now I can actually push a little bit harder. Alright, here at 12, we're gonna finish off Deafening Command. Drop the helmet. more health and health regen. Here, we're going to finish off Unstoppable Force, so now we have the ultimate Juggernaut. Okay, I stunned him, but it didn't do anything. That's weird. Oh. That's what it is. He's got that reflexive purify. So anytime he takes 668 damage, which I can deal pretty quickly, he just automatically ignores crowd control, which is annoying. Alright, there we go. We now have our damage return, which is what's actually been hurting me whenever I hit steel. There we go. We're now going to work on maxing out Ruthless Assault. I'm also going to take off Thundercleaver. I said take off Thundercleaver. We're going to pick up... that's what I just... We're going to actually put... we're actually going to take Unstable Cyborg here. Actually just saw Unstable Cyborg activating. Well, unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to win this one. The enemy just got off to a much better start than we did. But this kind of gives you an idea of how the build plays as well. Sorry I couldn't show you the whole thing. Yeah, they're just too strong at this point. Oh well. That's just how the game goes sometimes, folks. I'm gonna stick with it, of course, even though I've said that we've pretty much lost. Because at this point, why not? Well, folks, this was a quick look, not so great, on my part at playing Terra, the Iron Maiden. If you enjoyed, please share a like or favorite the video, or you can also leave a comment down below if you have anything you'd like to say. And if you want to keep up with me and understand my current series, please feel free to click the subscribe button down below, or there's the icon coming up at the end. And as for that, folks, I have been D. I didn't do so great today, but we did witness the rise of the Iron Maiden. So for now, good night, and good gaming.